Corey Mixter, also known as Titanic Sinclair, the man behind the Poppy Project. Director, producer, writer, musician, and alleged abuser. Did he help Poppy? Or did he lead her to a chaotic mess of slander and hate? In this video, we'll look into the Poppy Project and discover the dark truth behind it. Before we get into the Poppy Project, we have to discuss someone very important that helped mold it. Brittany Sheets, aka Mars Argo, the Poppy prototype. Mars was born in Michigan and spent her childhood helping out her local veterinary and singing in her church choir. After high school, she went to college and studied biology. In early 2008, she met Titanic Sinclair through MySpace. They became romantically involved and created a web series called Computer Show.
Welcome to our computer show. I'm Mars Argo.
They uploaded satirical YouTube videos that criticized internet culture and media.
I am an American and Beyonce is pregnant.
It is the year 2011 and Beyonce is pregnant and I don't care.
The concept of these videos was similar to the ones Poppy would later make with Titanic.
Chips. I like gummy bears.
The duo then moved to Chicago, where Mars attended art school. They eventually formed an indie pop band and released several songs. Their popularity slowly grew and the future seemed bright for the band, so Mars and Titanic decided to move to Los Angeles in 2012. They continued their computer show episodes until 2014, and then the YouTube channel died. The reason? A rough breakup. The channel's videos were almost all wiped, and Mars Argo disappeared. The only trace left of her was a creepy, low-quality, 3-minute and 36-second long video, where she brings out a gun while a reverse cryptic message plays. As for Titanic, he had a new project, Poppy. Mariah Pereira, now known professionally as Poppy, was born in Whitman, Massachusetts. At first, she attended public schools, where she claims she had few friends and was bullied for being quiet and skinny. She decided to switch to homeschooling and learned from the internet. She spent her childhood days pretty lonely, and music and dancing were her main distraction. A passion began to spark. She aspired to be a singer by listening and watching music videos of girl bands like No Doubt and Blondie. Her dad, who played drums for a punk rock band, also inspired her. At the age of around 11, she joined a roller derby team with her sister and was given the nickname Mini Bloodbath. A few years later, her dad got a new job and wanted a fresh start, so they moved to Nashville. At the age of 15, she received vocal lessons from Brett Manning, a vocal coach who's trained artists like Taylor Swift, Hayley Williams, and Miley Cyrus.
So when you go up there, you're going, meow, meow. Do that.
Meow, meow.
The vocal training encouraged her to create a YouTube channel and upload her own content.
I'm gonna see people that I don't like, a lot of them. need to not pay attention to those losers that tried to push us down the stairs when we were in middle school. We need to not pay attention to those stupid kids that would drop their food trays on me in the cafeteria. Because you know what? They don't matter anymore.
In around 2011, Poppy began performing at small venues.
This is her first performance ever. So let's give her some love. Give it up for Poppy.
And continued to support her YouTube by uploading vlogs, Q&As, covers, and original songs.
I clean buildings on the weekends. After they're closed, go in, you clean them up. It involves a lot of toilets, which aren't cool, but I'm really good at cleaning toilets.
Her YouTube videos garnered enough attention to allow her to perform live at Playlist Live, Digifest, and VidCon. She also began to adapt the name That Poppy.
This is my third try at making this video. Okay, I'm Poppy. Today is October 6th. And I feel like we should talk because friends talk about things. I feel like we're friends now.
She eventually moved to LA to pursue her entertainment career. In LA, she lived with Debbie Ryan, who's best known for her Disney Channel show, Jessie, which Poppy appeared in as a background extra. Her strong connections and voice caught the attention of Island Records, and in 2015, she signed a record deal with them. Island Records provided Poppy writers and producers to collaborate with, and together, they created demos for her debut. The demos began to be shared among the music industry circle, and one of the persons these demos reached was none other than Titanic Sinclair.
How did you first meet Poppy, and how did you first start working together?
Well, you know, Hollywood's pretty small, so when someone kind of is bubbling up, everyone kind of knows about it right away. Word gets around pretty fast, and it just so happened that, like, through friends of friends, we had, you know, mutual connections, and I heard some of her demos because she had just, like, entered the whole record label world, and they just, like, put you out with all these songwriters and stuff, and it's really awkward, but every once in a while you find someone and it makes sense.
So you heard her demo and sort of sought out.
Yeah, she had a couple songs.
Wanting to collaborate.
Yeah, and then one of them was a song called Low Life that I directed the video for.
Once Poppy and Titanic met, they began to collaborate and share creative ideas, and eventually started dating behind the scenes. Titanic became involved in her debut EP, Bubble Bath, and directed 2 of the music videos. With her record label, new pop star Bleach Blonde Image, and her single Low Life, Poppy was ready for stardom. Titanic and Poppy came up with a concept, a parody of a pop star with exaggerated MK Ultra brainwashing with Illuminati symbolism. This was the beginning of the Poppy project. But first, some things had to be taken care of to sell this idea effectively. They began by wiping any trace of Mariah's past. Videos, images, interviews, and social media were all taken down. Poppy changed her voice from a normal, casual, and bubbly tone.
Crude 7.5, I am poor and I just shop at Goodwill a lot, so I like to buy a lot of ugly clothes.
To a robotic, soft-spoken ASMR-like one.
I was created on January 1st. Happy birthday to me.
She adopted an android-like personality and would answer interview questions either unclear or with limited words.
Who are you wearing?
A flower.
With the Poppy persona created, they uploaded a video of Poppy eating cotton candy. The bizarre video began to get attention, but it wasn't until they uploaded the video of Poppy repeating her name for 10 minutes that she became viral.
I'm Poppy, 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 I am Poppy, I'm Poppy, I'm Poppy, I'm Poppy.
Poppy and Titanic continued uploading short videos, and they got weirder and weirder, which made everyone intrigued and confused.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. Be good. Oh god.
She had everyone hooked. Who is this girl? Is she real? What is she? In the Poppy universe, Poppy played the android, and Titanic was her puppet master.
How are you? How is she today?
Oh, she's good. I think that microphone actually might fit.
Okay. So great to see you.
My favorite interviewer is Zach Sang.
During this time, Poppy always stayed in character and only broke it a few times, which gave viewers a glimpse of the regular girl behind Poppy.
They tell me not to make videos with other people.
We're back to those days.
Come on.
I see.
The good old days.
How often are you making videos, Poppy?
Look it.
Yeah, it's a cat.
I like to make videos every day.
When she did interviews, she had an earpiece and was told what to say to interviewers by Titanic.
You bring a quieter vibe with you. Usually I'm a loud person, but just being in your zone makes me like go 17 levels down.
I like my volume. I like my volume.
And when Titanic was present, Poppy let Titanic do most of the talking.
Yeah, and it's important easy for us to be creative here because we're so used to public. And it's just so fresh and new, and it's almost like you pop your people want to go to look at it and force and record. That's how we started to do it. We're stating the public. Yeah. Imagine Chinese artists, Chinese artists, or process Chinese culture, songs. Yes, both are introduction Chinese music. Other than video games, playing games. And this was, I think, back when we've had this kind of collaboration or something. And so we were introduced to Fantasma, and yeah, so I never anything like it. And then when Dance Revolution was here in the United States, that was like J-pop. That was the first time I heard it, and it was very. So we're introduced to J-pop through Dance Revolution. Yeah. And so yeah, it was a new sound, and I was like, and so we started songs together. We find it really cool to get that kind of texture sound. It has a perfect blend of balance. It's not like you're not trying to Chinese music, right? So yeah, sometimes when especially American artists, they will take influence from our culture or whatever, and those kind of replicate it into it. And we try to.
This pushed the idea that the Poppy project was all Titanic's doing, and he deserved all the credit. When people tried to look up Poppy, there would be no answers, since everything was wiped beforehand. With no history of Poppy's past, Poppy and Titanic had everyone guessing if she was acting or if she was actually like that. However, an old interview of hers was not taken down. It showed Poppy answering questions with her regular voice and acting normal.
How did you come up with the name That Poppy?
Well, the name Poppy came from an old friend of mine. She thought that I looked like a character in this movie we were watching, so she started introducing me to people as Poppy, and it stuck. But the that came in because we just needed a little extra spice to it, I guess you could say.
It's not any Poppy, she's that Poppy.
This particular video was ruining the gimmick of the Poppy project. Titanic demanded the company responsible for the interview to take down the video, but they refused. This made Titanic angry, so he leaked the company's creative director's number in one of Poppy's videos.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
This was one of the early signs that Titanic did not play nice. He also used stolen artwork in the music video for money and in some of Poppy's official merchandise. His tweets were also in bad taste. During Mars's hiatus, Titanic repeatedly discredited her and took credit for all the content they had made together. He referred to her as an evil, spoiled rich kid who quit because success was too much work. He also claimed she was taking all the money made from their song sales. With Mars still in the dark, she had no way to defend herself. But not for long.
from the eye.
With a second album on the way, Poppy and Titanic were on the road to greater success. But suddenly, a person from the past came out of hiding, Mars Argo. And with her, she brought a career-damaging lawsuit. She sued the duo for copyright infringement and accused Titanic of using Poppy to create a Mars Argo knockoff, and that they copied Mars Argo's identity, likeness, expression of ideas, sound, style, and dyed her hair a specific platinum blonde, and, in character as Poppy, started to alter her voice to be a pitch higher to mimic Mars's distinctive speaking voice. In the lawsuit, she also claimed that Titanic, allegedly, get ready to hear this word a lot, forced her to endure severe emotional and psychological abuse and manipulation, while constantly insulting and degrading her. A year after their relationship ended, he allegedly broke into Mars's apartment by smashing her window. A few days later, he allegedly approached her outside her home and punched her in the face, and chased her until she locked him out. Shortly after, he broke into her house again and began smashing her wine glasses, one by one, when Mars refused to tell him what was the name of a Facebook group she had joined.
What's up? I'm not sure what it's called.
What's it called?
I'm not sure.
Oh, really? What's it called?
I'm not sure.
What's your Facebook?
Mars provided text message screenshots between her and Titanic that showed Titanic being abusive and hostile. She also stated that she decided to disappear and hide her whereabouts so that Titanic could no longer abuse, stalk, threaten, harass, or find her. Poppy later released a statement claiming Mars's accusations were false, and that Mars was working with someone who had allegedly abused Poppy in the past, Josh Moran, and provided a cropped restraining order against him. A video was also posted of him assaulting Titanic. Chris was a friend of Poppy and Titanic's, and Chris later explained that he let Titanic stay at his place and would help him get some jobs. He hired Titanic to edit a video for him and paid him in advance, but Titanic never finished the video, kept the money, and stole the idea for one of his music videos. The video of him punching Titanic was the result of that, and Chris claimed he never did anything to Poppy. The restraining orders were dismissed due to lack of evidence. While the lawsuit was ongoing, Poppy continued to change her look and sound to a pop metal fuse. Many believe her change of image was due to the lawsuit and wanting to stop comparisons to Mars Argo, and it might be a combination of that and Poppy wanting to experiment with different genres and looks, since her stuff had already started getting darker before the lawsuit. On September 2018, the lawsuit was dismissed due to being settled out of court. Mars was granted a restraining order against Titanic and was given full rights of the Mars Argo brand, and Poppy and Titanic were instructed to never mention Mars Argo in any form. Poppy would later say in an interview with NME that she learned more about Hollywood and that everything is not what it seems.
Sorry for what I've become, because I'm becoming someone.
After the lawsuit, Poppy continued to work with Titanic. He continued to direct and write for her new songs and upcoming album. However, in October of 2019, Poppy unfollowed Titanic on Instagram and then refollowed him hours later. Fans also noticed Titanic was absent from the final shows of her concert tour that ended in early November. Poppy then unfollowed Titanic again on both Instagram and Twitter. She was then spotted at rapper Ghostmane's show, and later appeared on his Instagram story holding her hand. In December 2019, Poppy broke her silence and released a statement that she had parted ways with Titanic, and revealed she was manipulated and emotionally abused by him for several years, and that she was never an accomplice to Titanic's taunts against Mars. She also said that he would threaten to commit suicide to manipulate and control her. With the removal of Titanic from her life, she says she is moving forward and is now happier than ever. Poppy recently dyed her hair back to her natural brown and seems to be starting a new journey without the added pressure of Titanic.
What was, the inspiration behind you making that statement, and, what did you want the world to take away from that?
I was ready to get rid of the things that had been holding me down, and it was a long time coming, and I feel really good to proceed on in this new chapter, and I wanted to encourage other people that if you're in a situation that you know is not the best for you, it's okay to leave it. You don't need to do what you're told. And it's okay to burn things down and start over.
What can you tell me about this record in particular?
Blood Money was written at a crossroads in my life. I had a lot of decisions to make, and it was mainly written about a very hypocritical person that was hanging around for a long time, and I felt like I was kind of running on a hamster wheel for a while, and finally being able to jump off and scream these lyrics at the top of my lungs every night.
You can be anyone you want to be. You can be free. You can be free. What did you mean by that, being free?
You can be free. You can.
Is that kind of like hopping off the hamster wheel and just being free?
Yeah, elements of that. You can be free in your life, in your mind, in your anything.
As for Titanic, he's gone silent, but Poppy revealed in her statement that he's already started grooming her ex-friends to become his next experiment. So what do we take from this unfortunate situation? Hollywood is a dark and twisted place, where everyone wants to take opportunities to fulfill their dreams. It's extremely easy to fall into the wrong hands and to be taken into a dark journey that requires your silence to stay at the top. Poppy met a man who helped shape her career, but at the same time tarnished it with his vengeful agenda and his inner demons. Her newest album, I Disagree, has several lyrics that seem to summarize her time spent with Titanic, isolation and self-reflection. One of the songs talks about her being depressed and waiting for it to get better, but that every day just feels the same. She also seems to talk about wanting to find her sound that she can claim as her own and be unique. It also mentions her realizing that everything she wanted, such as fame, money, and exposure, were meaningless, since happiness is more important. In the song Anything Like Me, she hints about self-realization, that she was being transformed into someone similar to Mars by Titanic and being angry about it. In Sit Stay, she sings about being silenced and being told what to say and do. She ends the album with repeating to herself that everything will be okay. We need to take into consideration that Poppy was pretty young when she met Titanic, and she's 7 years younger than him. She was also ambitious and naive, and wanted fame like any other young girl in Hollywood. She stayed silent and defended Titanic out of fear. She was also most likely fed lies and brainwashed into thinking Titanic was innocent and Mars was the villain. She was also groomed into becoming a Mars replica without really thinking about it until she opened her eyes and realized Titanic was using her as a living display of grudge, bitterness, and spite. Her artistry was also being belittled by Titanic wanting to continue the storyline that she was just a puppet and he was the mastermind. She realized he was a narcissist who didn't have the best intentions and was just using her to inflate his ego. She now has to carry the reputation and bad taste he left to the mass for probably the rest of her career. Whether to villainize her or sympathize with her situation is up to you, the viewer.